Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and welcome back to my channel, Stubbornly Bookish. Today I'm going to be filming the mid-year freak out book tag. I'm pretty sure the original creators don't have the original video up, but I will leave them linked down below if I can find those videos. I love filming this tag. I think this is my third time doing it. I just think it's really good to kind of check in with your goals, think about some favorites, least favorites, all the good stuff in one handy tag, and I'm excited to discuss. I think at the end of June I had read 31 books, not entirely sure what the final count on that was. And I'm decently happy with that number because my reading has been all over the place this year. This is actually my second time filming this too because I just noticed the framing is off, so hopefully this is a lot faster. Boy, was that disappointing to discover. My god. Anyway, the first question starts it off with a bang and asks what your favorite book of 2019 is so far. And I've only actually rated one book 5 stars that hasn't been a reread this year, which is actually kind of depressing. And ironically, I'm not even choosing the 5-star read. I'm picking The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I think the last time I talked about this, I landed on like a 4.5 rating. When I was thinking of an answer for this question, I could have picked the 5-star, but in my heart, this is my favorite read I've read so far, which I think now means that I should probably change the rating, and I've been thinking about doing that anyway. But I really loved the setting, I loved our characters, and I'm incredibly excited and interested in reading the sequel. I might actually reread this one because I would like to do an actual video review on it. We'll see when that comes, but did really love this story. The next question is best sequel, and I originally thought I had like 2 options. I've just put out of my mind a lot of the sequels I read this year because a lot of them weren't that good. One story that I think the sequel was really great was Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. This is a sequel slash prequel to Every Heart a Doorway, a book I very much enjoyed last year. I think this book was consistent in terms of quality from first to second. I loved the world we enter in this story, and I just love Seanan McGuire's writing and how the stories are told. There's so much that I love about these stories. Can't wait to read the next 2 installments of this series. Question 3 is a new release you haven't yet read but very much want to, and I chose 2 for this question. The first one is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. The Poet X was one of my absolute favorite reads of last year. It was beautiful, and I have no doubt that this story will also be fantastic, but when I get the chance, I'm definitely going to be listening to this on audio because I love her narration. The other release that I'm shocked I haven't yet read is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. I've been anticipating this book probably since like 2017. It's a story inspired by ancient Arabia, and I just can't wait to read it. I'm shocked I haven't gotten to it yet. But I definitely think I will be getting to this in July. At least I really hope so, because this is my most anticipated debut of the entire year. The next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and without a doubt, that is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. Frankly, this is my most anticipated release of the entire year. This is the sequel to The Poppy War, which I loved. It was my second favorite book of all of last year. I thought it was such a very, very great story. But I'm also terrified to read it because this series is grimdark, and I'm very scared for some characters that I just absolutely love, but I've been highly anticipating this for so long, and it's almost here. I'm so excited. The next question is biggest surprise, and I'm choosing The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. This is a young adult graphic novel, and I expected this to be very light, cute, and fluffy, but boy did it also pack quite an emotional punch. I don't think I've ever had a reaction like that to a graphic novel. It was an incredibly great quality story. Loved it. Kind of disappointed I don't actually own it, but it was very good. I highly recommend it. I fully skipped a question. Question before is biggest disappointment. I'm picking The Priory. of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I didn't really like this book. I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. Pretty mediocre. It's a high fantasy that's supposed to be very woman-centric. There's a prominent FF relationship in here, and I just didn't like it. The characters were incredibly bland. So bland. The writing was pretty distant. The plot was fine, but because all the other elements of the story were weak, I didn't really care about the plot and what was happening. The only thing I'm happy with is that I didn't spend $40 on it. The next question is favorite new author, debut or not. And I haven't read a lot of books from the same author yet this year. So I chose actually Casey McQuiston, who wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue. I haven't talked about this yet on my channel, but I supremely enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I think one of the reasons I enjoyed it so much was actually the writing in here. I liked the sense of humor and the way the story was told, and I really love the relationship between the 2 men in here. I look forward to anything really that she publishes from now on, which is saying a lot because I don't tend to pick up adult/new adult romances. The next question is newest fictional crush, and this is short and easy. I don't get them anymore. Maybe I'm old and bitter, but they're just not my thing anymore. However, the following question is newest favorite character, and I'm actually choosing Nahri from The City of Brass. She is one of the 2 main perspectives we get in this story, and she's a con woman. She's from the streets. She takes advantage of all these dumbass men. I just really liked following the story and her perspective. She is flawed and kind of a bad person. She's pretty selfish, but I just really, really loved reading from her and her sensibilities, and she was great. The next question is a book that made you cry, and I'm picking There's Something About Sweetie by Sandia Menon. I also haven't talked about this book yet. It will be coming in my June wrap-up, but this really stuck with me. I very much connected with the emotional core of the story. This follows Sweetie, who is Indian and a teen athlete, but she also happens to be fat, and it just really related to me and my past because I was an athlete back in my prime as a teen, but I also happened to be fat, or at least a lot bigger than the rest of the girls on my soccer team. Not everything in her experience directly reflected me, but I definitely could relate to it. And at the end, reading the author's note, I was just sobbing. The next question is a book that made you happy. I'm gonna snag Red, White. That is a tongue twister. Red, White, and Royal Blue again by Casey McQuiston. The sense of humor in here was pretty great. I just liked the levity of this story, and it was nice to kind of pretend that the hellhole of politics doesn't exist for a little bit whilst reading an alternate political story. The next question is favorite book to film adaptation, and I don't think I have watched one this year. I do definitely plan on watching The Miseducation of Cameron Post very soon because I have almost finished that book and I'm very interested in the adaptation, but off the top of my head, nothing comes to mind. The next question I don't want to answer. It's favorite review filmed, and because my reading and booktube life has been so sporadic, basically in all of 2019, I'm not positive I have posted one single review. I've had plans to review so many books and I just haven't had the time or energy to film them. I really enjoy doing them when I do. I just haven't. So I'm going to have plausible deniability and not actually look and see if I have filmed a review yet. The next question is the most beautiful book you've bought this year, and it's a tie again. The first one being Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. I think this cover is stunning. Honestly, it's one of the most beautiful covers I've owned like ever. The other one though is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. Everything put into this book is just with so much care and so beautiful. We have a beautiful, beautiful girl on here. The colors are gorgeous, and this is my favorite thing ever. The hardcover itself is beautiful. And the final question is, what books do you want to read by the end of the year? And basically all of them. All of the books on my yearly TBR that I posted in January, I think I've only read 1 out of the 10 books mentioned there. I also really want to get to Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a book I've had my eye on for a really long time, and recently I've seen like quite a few gushing reviews over this story, so super excited to read this one. Also really want to get to The Obelisk Gate and K. Jemisin, the sequel to the 5th season. I've been putting this off for too long, and I also really want to read The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I have now since read at least two of her books, and haven't loved either yet, but I'm holding out hope that this is going to be the book that I love by her. Anyway, that is it for the mid-year book freakout tag. I love this tag. Please feel free to let me know down in the comments what your favorite read of 2019 has been. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!